Hey, try this again. I apologize for the technical difficulties, and I also apologize to anyone who was tuned in before, because I am going to have to probably repeat what I did earlier since I was on the wrong page and was having internet issues. Anyway, welcome to the first live show. It's, it's going to start airing tonight and every Tuesday night around 10 p.m. Stay tuned for the announcement of the name of the show, which there was a contest for. I will announce the winner of the contest who won 1 ounce of kratom at the end of the show. So I guess I'm going to start off by just doing a little toss and wash because I'm a little nervous and it helps my anxiety a lot. I usually use a little fold of paper, put my kratom in, and then when I pour it into my mouth, I kind of flick my tongue around as I drink whatever beverage I'm using. I prefer not to use a carbonated beverage because it just seems to foam up and make it harder for me. Some people do like to put a little liquid in their mouth before they put the powder in, but this is the way it just seems to work best for me. But always do what works best for you, of course. So. Okay, I guess I'm just going to start off, but it's kind of explaining a little bit about kratom. I know not everyone may know about what it is and what it's for. Basically, it's a plant in the same family as coffee. It grows primarily in Southeastern Asia and areas like Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, places like that. It's really wonderful for chronic pain, fatigue, because it can be very energizing in larger amounts, and like things like red veins are pretty good for insomnia and relaxation. So it also is good for anxiety, and then it also helps a lot of people with addiction. And actually, what I'm going to start with is kind of explaining how it's helped me and what I use it for. And so basically, I ended up, while I was going to school in Florida, I ended up getting into heroin. I was taking a lot of pain pills, and one day someone just suggested heroin, said it was cheaper by far than the pain pills and far more effective. So I eventually kind of broke down and got some, and he was right. I mean, it was much cheaper and much, much more effective. The problem is I kept doing it, and eventually I was a full-blown addict. To support my habit, I ended up doing a lot of stuff like buying and selling more of it, and eventually, like after seeing a lot of my friends like overdose, or some of them even passed away, and some of them went to prison, I didn't want that life anymore. I mean, it'd been a couple years at this point of everyday heroin use, and I just couldn't take it anymore, and I wanted to stop. And every time I try to stop, someone would give me a call and offer me some for free if I give them a ride somewhere, or if I would call up my connection for it. And it was just next to impossible for me to get off of right away. So what I ended up doing is I called my mom up and I told her a lie. I told her that I was joining the military and that I wanted to visit her at her home in California, just basically till I go to boot camp. And so I grabbed a bunch of Suboxone that I traded some heroin for, and then I brought some bags of heroin with me, and because I was going to kind of wean myself off, right when I get there. And what ended up happening is I did all of the heroin before I even got to my mom's house. Didn't even make it to the place. So first I tried taking Suboxone to try to get off of it. And the Suboxone, it helped the withdrawal a little bit, but I was still having to take it every single time. And then I tried methadone, and that helped even more. But it was basically I tried to quit both of them, and the withdrawal from each was just terrible. It was almost worse than the heroin itself. It was much more mild, but it just lasted forever, like months and months and months on end. Like 6 months later, and I was still withdrawing. So one day I was like on the internet, and I found this article, and it was just something like best things to bring with you on a hiking trip. And then I saw the thing about kratom, and it talked about energy and how good it is for pain and this and that. And so I ended up ordering some, and it helped when I got it. It helped a lot. It seemed to be more effective than any of the other stuff I'd taken, and it didn't really give me that same euphoric high or anything like that like the other things would give me. It was very mild, and that made me kind of feel more secure in taking it because it just didn't seem like it had that much addictive potential. And I'd done a lot of research on it and everything, and the general consensus is that it's not very addictive by nature. Like maybe on par with coffee, caffeine and stuff like that. So after about a year of taking that, I ended up taking about another year off. But then I ended up going back to it because I noticed that I still had bad anxiety, panic attacks, and I have severe stomach issues. And I remembered when I was taking that, it helped a lot. So I ended up ordering some more, and I started taking it again for my anxiety and stomach issues. And ever since then, it's just been a miracle for me. When I run out, I don't get really much withdrawal at all. Like the worst I get, and this is after close to a decade now of being clean and taking kratom, I get some RLS, it's a little harder sleeping, and my anxiety and stomach issues, return to their normal states. So overall, it's just been wonderful, and all I've been doing since then is educating people and researching as much as I can and trying to just spread the word and try to help as many people as I can. So I guess so next I guess I'm going to do a segment that we're going to be doing on every show. It's called Ask Becca, and basically there's another show hosted by the very talented Becca Morris, and basically she's going to be doing an Ask Anthony and I'm going to be doing an Ask Becca. So on her show, comment your Ask Anthony questions, and then I will be answering them on my show the following week. And on this show, we're going to do Ask Becca, and she's going to be answering your question for her on her next show. So this week's question was from Devin Tenney. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she asks, is there such a thing as a strain that causes pain relief, mood lifting